Welcome, friends. Welcome, everybody. As you can see, I'm here in my home studio with a very rough homemade setup. So, the impetus for creating these videos in the first place was just to offer a little bit of movement and breath that you can do at home now that we're all on lockdown and quarantined in our bedrooms. So, please forgive any juvenile mistakes, as there will be many. But we're all doing our best, and that I think is the beauty of this moment in time, is that we are flexible and we are forgiving and we are just welcoming it all. So this practice tonight is a brief practice to help you restore and create some space in your body and in your mind. So if you've been feeling really overwhelmed and really stressed out, then I offer this to you as a way to not just ground down, but also to notice and feel what might be getting stuck. So you won't need any props. The only thing that I have with me tonight is a blanket that I'm sitting up on. And I also like to diffuse Northern Lights Black Spruce. It's an oil by Young Living. So if you are so inclined to use essential oils, this is a really beautiful one for clarity and also a little bit of uplifting scent to your space. And then the other one that I have is Young Living's pure lavender oil, just a little on the temples or on the feet, maybe even on the heart if you're feeling a little sensitive. It's a nice place. So when you're ready, go ahead and lay down on your backs. This practice can be done entirely lying down. And like I said, we won't use a single prop. That is, unless you prefer to use one. But don't feel pressured and don't feel the need to make your practice anything but what it is. And in the spirit of doing so, I invite you to close your eyes, or at least allow them to gently soften and close. And with your knees bent and your feet about mat width distance apart, just let the knees knock in towards each other. And place your hands on your low belly. And just feel your body and feel your breath. Meet yourself exactly where you are. Our practice this evening will be part movement and part breathwork and meditation. And so the intent for tonight is simply to create a safe space. As cheesy as that sounds. And within that safe space, allow ourselves to release anything that we're holding on to unnecessarily. And take a deep breath in through your nose. And let's breathe it out through the mouth. Twice more, in through the nose. Breathe it out. Deep breath in. And a slow breath out. And just feel your head and your neck and your shoulders sink down into the floor as if they were silly putty melting into the mat. And from here, you're going to bring your hands behind your head so that the thumb touches the base of your skull. The hands can be interlaced or however else you like them to be. And then press your thumbs into the muscles in the back of the neck. So right where your head sits atop your cervical spine. You can feel the bony ridges of your occipital lobes here as you just gently massage, move your thumbs in circular motion. And notice if it feels better simply just to hold them in place. Maybe a little gentle pressure feels nice. Maybe a slow and steady movement feels better. You decide. And we're going to bring our hands, our finger pads to the back of our head and just give yourself a head massage. Underrated. You can even work your way down to your jawline, a space where your jaw connects with your ears. Feeling for any tender spots that need a little extra love and attention. And then just gently releasing that. Interlacing your hands behind your head one more time and walking your feet and your knees apart from each other so that they're hip width distance. And as you press down to the back of your pelvis, lift your head, neck, and chest up off the floor like you're doing a tiny little crunch. And using the thumbs to tug at the base of the skull, feel the length in the neck. Reach through the crown of the head. And we'll give a little bit of traction to our spine as you lift the left shoulder blade and the left elbow up and over to the right. Spinning back through the center, slowly spin and reach to the left. All the while letting the head be gently cradled in your hands. And feeling the slow movement from side to side. And pressing down into the back of your pelvis and letting the head be heavy, kind of like clay in your hands. Just allowing the thumbs to mold into the back of the neck. Good. And then slowly and gently release. And bring your hands down to your sides. And notice if the palms gently turn up or perhaps they flip down to the mat. Whatever is the most natural for you, just do that. And as you snuggle your shoulders underneath your back, feel the gentle expanse across the front of your chest. And notice the gentle curves in your spine. Yes, I say the word gentle a lot. But that is a quality that we want to invoke in our practice tonight. It's a really soft and sweet approach to movement and breath. Slowly draw your right knee into your chest. Interlace your hands around the shin and extend the left leg long. Kick your essential oils out of the way if they're there. And maybe the hands slide behind the knee. If you've got a sensitive knee, it creates a little bit of a cushion. And slowly breathe the right knee in towards you as you point through the toes of your left foot to lengthen long through the left leg. Feel the opening and the stretch in the hip flexors, in the thigh, on the front of the shin and the ankle joint. And breathing, noticing and feeling. And slowly release the right foot down to the floor and rebend your left knee. And settle the weight of your feet down into your mat. And just take a breath in here. Perhaps breathe it out through the mouth. And gently switch your legs. Draw your left knee in and reach the right leg long, pointing through the toes. Letting the shoulders slide away from the ears so that your awareness draws only to that left leg and the front of the right hip. As you extend through the right foot, Gently pull your left knee closer in towards your torso. Breathe into the belly. Exhaling slowly, making the breath smooth. And gradually pulling your right knee into your chest. You can grab underneath the knee joint, or perhaps slide your hands on top of the shin, but wherever you are, pull the knees nice and wide and apart. And let the feet get heavy and kind of flop down towards the floor. And even let the pelvis move forward. So you'll feel it tip away from you. Feel the back of the pelvis. And the sacrum is that triangular bone in between your iliacs. At the very base of your spine. And allow it to ground down here as you soften the muscles of your pelvic floor. Feeling the knees come nice and wide and apart like putty in your hands. Breathing into the belly and even into the bowl of your pelvis as if you were blowing up a balloon. Slowly pull your knees closer and towards you until you feel your hips float up and off of the mat just slightly. And grab hold of the outer blade of your right foot with your right hand. Keeping the left knee exactly where it is. You'll slowly extend your right leg long, reach through the right heel and curl your toes towards your nose. Feel that big hamstring and IT band stretch. I like to rock a little bit from side to side. Just feels nice. It's personal opinion. Good, and then gently pull your right knee in and move to the left side. Flex your toes, grab the left outer blade of your foot, the outer blade of your left foot. Reaching through the heel, feel a big stretch along the posterior chain of the body, through the belly of your hamstring. And slowly and gently releasing, either pulling the knees in, hands on shins or behind the knee joint, underneath it I should say, or slide your hands into a happy baby. The elbows will thread in between your legs on the inner knees. And it's a deep flexion of the hips, so if it feels like there's too much pressure, you can always modify to feel something a little bit softer and easier in the body. If you're in happy baby, just gently press your feet up into your hands and let the shoulders soften down into the floor. Try not to lift your hips up off the mat, but just let the pelvis fall forward. Take a deep breath into your belly. If it feels okay or if it's calling you to do so, you can bend the elbows and the knees any amount down towards the floor. And that doesn't feel great for me most days, so I prefer just to find my edge elsewhere. And slowly pull your knees into your chest. Or wrap your arms around your shins, squeeze your legs in tight towards you. Deep and full breath in through the nose. And let your breath flow out through the nostrils. And gently release your feet down onto the floor. And turn your palms down. Make sure the toes are pointing forward and not out to the side. And gently scoop the shoulder blades underneath your back. Squeeze them gently together so that the chest starts to puff up towards the ceiling and the low back arches up towards the sky. As you press down to the soles of your feet, you'll breathe your hips up off of the mat and reach your arms up with them. And then slowly taking them back behind you until the hands lower all the way down to the floor, strategically moving your things out of the way. And then slowly lower your hips, breathe the arms down with them. And we'll flow through that several more times. Press down, hug the heels in, float the hips up, reach the arms back behind you. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, breathe it up. Exhale, lower down. It's almost as if you're moving through the water, weightless. Gravity had no say in how you felt here. Could you feel a little bit more buoyant and light? Feel that breath washing through you. Let's do one more round. And exhaling, slowly release the hands down. Release the hips down. Feel everything land exactly as it is on your mat. If your awareness has drifted elsewhere, and gently returning your attention back to your breath and back to this moment again and again and again. You'll slowly float your legs up and overhead. And gently squeeze the legs together. Notice if there is any gripping in the jaw or in your head, your neck. And do your best just to soften and slowly engage your belly in, hugging it inwards. Nothing that feels like you're over-efforting or gripping elsewhere in the body. And simply muscle tone and muscle energy to create this shape, to create the support that you need to hold yourself here. Notice if you're holding your breath. And notice how this starts to feel a little bit more challenging. Just, even though it's hard, stick with it. Feel your body, feel your breath. And then you'll slowly bend your knees in towards your chest. And let the feet lower back down to the earth. Take them nice and wide. And pick your hips up just an inch or two, shift them all the way over to the right, and let the knees come down into a twist. The arms will come out into a cactus shape, or if you have the room, and please do so. Please take up space. If that feels nice, to stretch the arms out like wings. Looking over the right shoulder, if that doesn't bother your neck, so that you deepen this twist all the way up through your spine. And then slowly floating the knees back up through center, pressing down to pick your hips up, shift them over just slightly to the left so that you can gently relax the legs down to the right. Elbows bend, upper back and lower back relaxes and releases. Look over your left shoulder. And breathe. And slowly pick the knees back up off of the floor. And stay right where you are and place your hands on your belly or along your side. You're welcome to bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees come wide and apart into Supta Baddha Konasana. As we transition into the breath work and meditation, I invite you to make yourself comfortable so that you feel at ease. And take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale it out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose. Exhaling it out again, either through nose or mouth. One last deep cleansing breath. Letting it wash through you from your head to your toes. And as you remain here on your back, slowly breathe all of the air out. You're going to inhale in for a count of 4. And exhale out for 4. And breathe it in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 4, 3, 2, and 1. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 4, 3, 2, 1. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 4, 3, 2, and 1. And continue on counting silently to yourself. Lengthening your inhales and your exhales, perhaps to 5 or 6, if that's within the scope of your abilities. And what we're doing with this slow and steady rhythm is downregulating our nervous system. And telling our bodies and our minds that we're safe, that we're at ease, that we're at home in our body. And if it helps to imagine a warm golden light beginning in your midbrain, slowly moving down into your throat, your heart center, settling down into your belly. And just imagine that warm, golden, healing light wherever you feel like you're being called to. If the mind drifts, as it eventually will, gently pull yourself back. Call yourself back home. this counted breath is starting to slip away from you, lean into that. Be curious. Notice how it feels to feel the resonance of your breath just moving through you. And so long as you're feeling at ease and safe within this space that we've created, I invite you to move into this meditation with an open heart and an open mind, while also being mindful of your limits. You're welcome to follow along or simply rest and digest. And just take a moment to notice any stuck emotions that you're harboring in your body. And perhaps that's being signaled by a short and shallow breath in the chest. And gently scanning your body from head to toe to notice where you're holding on to any extra tension. Notice where it feels tight. And release any judgment of that experience. And now notice where you're holding or gripping any difficult and challenging emotions. Maybe they are a result of this moment in time and the circumstances that we're in, or maybe there's something from a really long time ago. And just simply allow them to float up to the surface. If you can pick one thing in particular and name it, identify it, just observe it without judgment. Allow it to be exactly what it is. And on your next inhale, let it go. Offer it up. Breathe it out of you. Like a wave washing shells or pebbles off the sand and back into the ocean. Just knowing that within the safety of this space, of the four corners of your mat, that this is an intentional time. Allowing things to bubble up as needed and to be released. Creating space in our bodies, our tissues, our muscles, and our cells for something new to come. And start to take a deeper breath in and a deeper breath out. Bringing yourself back to the present moment. Bringing conscious movement into the body wiggling your fingers and your toes, moving and stretching in any way that feels good. And slowly pulling your knees into your chest and wrapping your arms warmly around them. Give yourself a nice little hug. You're welcome to stay on your back or in your practice in the seated position so that we're exiting in the way that we came. And if you'd like to join me, you can bring your hands together in front of your heart into this offering, our Anjali Mudra, which represents the heart in front of the heart. Bowing your chin halfway down towards your chest in gratitude to this practice and in gratitude for this time that we take to nurture a deeper connection to our bodies, to our hearts, and to our minds. And take a deep breath in and let it go. Thank you all so much.